Hey, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Horror Hollywood, and today I'm going to try and talk to you about how to survive a zombie invasion. Look at that, zombie invasion. Now, there's a few different kind of zombies that we can talk about. We can go, the classic zombies, the brains, slow walkers kind of stuff, or we can go, the more smart ones who are able to kind of, hold guns and stuff like that. But I'm gonna go more for, the classical zombies type ones. Now, of course, them zombies are kind of easy to, figure out. They usually come in hordes. They'll attack their target. They'll, eat them. And generally wise, when you get bitten, you become a zombie. So, in more than often than not, the zombies will eat you. They'll kill you. So you don't really have a chance to often escape in certain scenarios. Oftentimes, you probably could, if given the right equipment or the right scenario, but mostly no. No, once you're bitten, you will become a zombie. Sometimes it's when you die. Sometimes the virus will take you over, and you'll end up just becoming one. Maybe in a few hours, few days. Uh, it all kind of depends often. Uh, but for the zombie wise, they're generally pretty easy to deal with. Often you don't want to use guns because they can hear pretty freaking well. I mean, often even humans can hear guns from a pretty good distance, but they will always go towards like loud noises, car alarms, gunshots, anything that really grabs their attention. They'll move towards it. Due to them thinking it's prey. They'll be able to get you, eat you, all the good stuff. Now, mostly for zombie invasion, you generally will have some notification either from the news, maybe radio, something that'll give you a heads up about what's coming and what to do. They'll usually, oftentimes in games you'll see like, don't worry, it's just some crazy dude, he ripped out the throat of a police officer, but yeah, everything's fine. And usually that's how things get escalate, but that's generally in games. Usually, that's how it goes. That's how it increases in terms of dangers, because it's like, it's not a problem. It's not. We got guns. We can deal with this. No problem. And then it just escalates to the point where everybody's getting killed. You have a crap ton of zombies littering around. But for the most part, in real life, you more than likely get a notification, and that's generally where you want to be able to prepare. You want to stockpile foods that are what was the word for non-degradable, non-decomposable, foods that can, like, usually canned foods, things that can't expire very quickly. So generally wise, you want to get stuff like that so you can stockpile it, get water. You might want to get batteries, ammunition. You want to stockpile all the supplies you need for it, and you want to find a good place. Generally, a good area that you probably don't want to you would like to stay in is a more secluded area. So city-wise, not really a good idea, just because oftentimes there's going to be a lot of areas around there that the zombies are going to be. There's a big population there, so there's a good chance you'll run into a lot of zombies. So you wanted to be in an area where you can not have a huge worry about it. So the countryside, the woods, maybe mountains would be a good area. Oftentimes they'll say being on a boat's a good idea because zombies don't have the ability to swim. Often they'll just be like underneath the surface of the water, so they can't really get you, especially if you're like in a lot deep water. So that'd also be a good option. The only problem with that though is that if you're in the ocean, if you're in an area where it's hard to get supplies, that could be a problem unless of course you in an area where you can fish a lot, then you'll have a non-stop supply of fish. But if we're talking on land, like I said, you want to be in an area where the zombies can't really get to you. So an area to where you're non-likely to run into a lot of people, like I said, countryside, mountains, forest. That's a good idea. But if you are kind of stuck in an area where you weren't given a huge notice, so you can't move right away, you'd want to be in a good fortified area. Usually a two-story house or building would be good. That way you can take out the stairs so they can't get up there, but you'd always want to have a way to where you can get down, or to get supplies and the like. So, maybe have a window where you have a rope going out of it, or a ladder or something like that. Once again, zombies generally cannot climb, or they can't do anything like that. They don't have, the motor function or really the brain power to really kind of understand it. So that would be your best bet. You'd always want to be quiet. So, generally firearms are not a really good idea unless you maybe have a way to silence them. Bows and arrows, slingshots, crossbows, all of that kind of stuff would be good because they're silent for the most part, and you can always reuse the ammo and the like. So those would be a good idea. But generally, like I said, you want to be in an area to where they can't get to you. So, a first-story area with a lot of windows, probably not the best idea unless you have that area heavily fortified, iron bars on the windows, multiple locks on the doors, defenses, maybe have a heavy fence around the area, something that can give you protection. Weapons-wise, you want to be able to, if you can't use like long range, you have to use close range, and oftentimes you want to use something that is either not easily broken or that you can repair it with ease. So, you would want to use maybe something like a heavy steel bat, maybe a hammer. Crowbar is good because then you can use it to attack enemies, and you can also use it to, pry open doors and things and the like. Usually something like small, like a little pocket knife probably ain't going to be that very helpful, just because it's not going to have enough strength to really be able to pierce the skull of a zombie, despite what some things will show you, TV and the like. Bones are obviously at times going to be hard to get through, so especially the skull, since that's got to protect your brain up in there. So, not like in The Walking Dead where you can just take a little toothpick and kill them immediately. You would need something that you can either destroy the brain with or decapitate them. So, oftentimes maybe a machete, an axe would be really good. You just want something that you can use and quickly. You don't want to be, it's not a fight. You need to survive. If you can't run, you have to fight. You need to have a weapon that can take them out pretty easily. So, like, a hammer would be really good because it's a blunt object. And if you just have, the nail hammer, you also have the back edge would be really good for penetrating the skull. Now, like I said, you want to be fortified in your house, but that's generally how it's going to go. The military will have to actually, kind of do their job, not, and what they do in games and the like, where they set up perimeters and everything. They will have to take them out, full on gun everything down. And for taking out zombie, once again, the brain is what you got to do. If you want to straight up kill the zombie, you need to take out the brain. So that's why if you can get to them, you can, stomp on their head, crush their skull, use a blunt object to destroy the brain. Or if you can't do that, you can easily just cripple them, cut the leg, or something similar to that, to where they just can't move. That's not going to take them out completely, but at least you'll be able to, just cripple them and run. You would need to, oftentimes in an area like this, you need to be in a place with people you can trust. So if you just, you need to be wary of people you don't really know. Like if you just see me on the street, I'm like, hey, can I join your group? It's like, no, not you. You want to be able to trust the people. You always need to be on guard, because oftentimes people might just either go crazy, or they might be crazy to begin with. So they'll either, they could probably try and kill you, take your supplies and all that. So you want to be very careful. Have people you trust, have people you know. Your best bet is not to stay in a huge group if possible, because large groups could do increase the noise, and it will attract the zombies to you. So you want to be able to kind of keep a low profile in terms of things. That way, like, you don't want to have like heavy machinery or anything like that. No radios, no TVs, unless you have it at a very low kind of volume. That way, the zombies can't hear you as well, because they do have a little bit more of enhanced hearing than normal humans do. But they're not friggin' mad hearing, where they can hear like a friggin' mouse from 300 yards away. So as long as you keep quiet enough, you should be fine. Have weapons you can use, have weapons you can repair. Always have a stockpile of, food, water, batteries, things to, protect yourself with. Have things to, repair your weapons, your perimeter, your walls. Have a radio just in case you need to talk with people. If you need to hear kind of what's going on in the outside world, oftentimes they might have something like that. They'll have a radio broadcast where they will kind of keep you informed of current events and all that's happening. So Yeah, basically, shut the hell up, have weapons, be prepared, and you'll be fine. Anyways, I've been Horror Hollywood. I'll see y'all later. Bye bye.